Monday Night Raw was last night. I'm going to let you know why I think it was one of the worst Raws in the Netflix era for one very important and reoccurring theme. Let's get into it on Screw the Script. Raw last night, I believe, only had 4 matches, if I'm not mistaken. Not a single match was well over 10 minutes. 3 of the 4 matches were 10 minutes or less. The main event was maybe 12 minutes. So again, a 2.5-hour episode of Raw and only about 45 minutes tops of actual wrestling, so only a third of the show like always. I really don't understand why people waste money going to these shows when they're sitting and staring at Titantrons and watching video packages for 2/3 of the show and they're getting charged up the asshole for ticket prices. Make that make sense. Seriously, if you go to these events still, please, down below, just let me know what goes on in your mind to justify paying for those ticket prices. I don't understand. I really don't. The match to start the night, we had a women's qualifier Money in the Bank match, which Stephanie Vaquer ended up winning. It was actually match of the night for me. But the reoccurring important theme that I want to say that happened on Raw that made it one of the worst Raws in the Netflix era, R-Truth. He wasn't even there, and there was chants all night long for "We Want Truth." At one point, there was a chant saying "What's Up," which was, back in the day, R-Truth used to rap his entrance song, and it was called "What's Up," and he would say it to the fans and ask them back and forth. It was good crowd engagement. I don't know why he ever dropped that. But anyways, and you could tell all night long that the commentary was really getting, it was getting under their skin. Pat McAfee at one point, during that "What's Up" chant, Michael Cole finished talking about a point. Pat McAfee said, "That's what's up," to Michael Cole. And, they're trying to dodge the fans and act like it's not happening. Nothing to see here, nothing to hear here. No, these fans are outraged, and they showed it last night, and it was such a bad fucking look for WWE the whole night, which made it one of the worst episodes of Raw. On top of that, the 4 matches, and maybe there was a 5th, but I only remember 4. None of them were significant, not even the main event. The main event was 12 minutes. We saw El Grande Americano win, of all people, in that main event. And that further proves what I've said in a previous video, where how far are they going to go with this gimmick? At this point, El Grande Americano is getting more chances than Chad Gable ever did, and he's a damn good wrestler. Give him a fucking chance as Chad Gable, not some bullshit Vince McMahon luchador gimmick where he is basically shitting all over luchadors. Now, I may be a little biased here because I love luchadors. I mean, I wear a mask in my videos. I liked the gimmick at first, but I think it's getting dragged out. It's going too far. It's going way too far, where it's leaving Chad Gable, the character, the wrestler himself, behind in the dust, because El Grande Americano was the one that got the WrestleMania match. El Grande Americano was the one that won the Money in the Bank qualifier match tonight. How far are you going to go with that? And again, R-Truth chants happened throughout the night. There was a tag team match that was lackluster. Judgment Day ended up winning, so at least Finn Balor saw a win. Thank God. WWE Raw last night was basically R-Truth, where it was the raw truth is what the R stood for R-Truth last night, meaning the raw truth of the matter is WWE fucked up in letting go of R-Truth. The promos last night, the only good one that I took away was the one that caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting a promo backstage between Gunther and Jay. Glad that it happened in a locker room. That's always nice to see, and not some bullshit, stupid-looking location like next to a bunch of pallets in a parking lot. Like, nobody's going to be standing there waiting for somebody to walk past them and interact with them. It's kind of like how they did it in the video games, if you get what I'm saying, back in the SmackDown vs. Raw days of their wrestling games. But yeah, that was the only good promo. The opening promo that we saw by CM Punk, it was okay. Nothing special. Classic Punk promo that we've seen time and time again. Just targeted towards somebody else, really. That was the difference. The cringiest promo for me was the Becky Lynch promo. Not Becky Lynch. She's good on the mic. It was Lyra. I don't know what it is, but she just is really cringy on the mic. I don't like her voice that much. She reminded me of Owen Wilson a lot with the amount of time she said, "Wow, Wow.
Wow.
I think she counted like 8 times in that promo. Just not a good promo. And again, the crowd, I really don't think they want to be behind heel Becky. Just turn her back to face. Take it as an L, WWE. If the R-Truth stuff that went on throughout the night last night with the chants by the crowd, if that wasn't enough to make you think this has to be arguably the worst Raw in the Netflix era, if not, I would say top 3, or bottom 3 rather, bottom 3 Raw in the Netflix era, you had a segment. God, this fucking hurts just to say this. You had a segment from the commentary promoting a t-shirt on a wrestling website for an NBA player. Make that make sense. Tyrese Halliburton from the Indiana Pacers. Now, I get that Pat McAfee is a Pacers fan. Great. This is pro wrestling. Why are we selling a t-shirt now for an NBA player? What the hell is going on? Make that make sense, TKO. First match of the night has got to be that Raquel match versus Kairi Sane. Raquel, I just think she cannot go in the ring. I think she's god-awful in the ring. That's really all I had to say about that. Kairi Sane picks up the win. They announced that the world title match is going to be on Raw, but a tag team match is going to be at Money in the Bank. That's ass backwards. Like, that's another fail, I think, by WWE. Again, on to the main event, which I kind of touched base on a little bit earlier, but now to more thoroughly go over it. CM Punk, El Grande Americano, and I believe AJ Styles. Yeah, those 3 were in the main event, and we saw El Grande Americano win of the 3. This match was barely over 10 minutes. The crowd chanted holy shit when all you saw was AJ Styles hit his phenomenal forearm from the top rope to the outside. Like, that is, if that's what gets the crowd to chant holy shit these days in WWE, boy oh boy, have they really fallen in terms of quality of holy shit moments. Because that was just a typical thing that you see pretty much every week in AEW. And that's a positive comment towards AEW, because they actually do pro wrestling better. They just do. Last night's main event was awful. It was shorter than the opening match from Dynamite last Wednesday. Just a sorry excuse of a match, really. Then on to some WWE news. I've seen reports that they're getting rid of house shows. That could be the reason why R-Truth was released, and we're going to see many more people that wrestle these house shows and aren't on weekly shows. They're going to get released because TKO wants max profit with the least amount of pro wrestlers. So they're going to get rid of everybody that's not featured weekly on Raw or SmackDown. You either get demoted down to NXT or it's out the door. And I think that is awful. And it's gotten so bad. Here's an example here. You've got fans turning on Triple H now, pleading for him to bring back R-Truth. That's example number 1. Here's the other example. I'm going to show it up there. I'll read it to you because it's from a Reddit post. It's from a loyalist from WWE. They go on to say, want to move over to AEW. Can someone help me out with a quick what's what on storylines? The question's been a pro wrestling fan my entire life, but mostly just watched WWE. Not a big fan of some directions being made lately, and I want to consider moving to AEW as a primary following. If I wanted to start watching AEW this week, could someone help me out with a quick summary of who's who and what's what, or even a point in the right direction? If there's a website or a resource that covers AEW storylines, subscribe to Screw the Script if you want coverage on AEW. But hey, that's just an example of how outraged people are. They're going to stop watching WWE if they're mainly only watching that because they're pissed. Raw was not good last night. Easily, in my mind, the worst Raw, at least bottom 3 if you don't think it was the worst Raw. That's all I had on this quick episode of Screw the Script. I apologize that the lighting isn't quite as good as it normally is. My ring light actually broke, so I'm just waiting on a replacement. You let me know down below, though, in the comments what you thought about last night's Raw. What you think about this whole R-Truth stuff going on. As always, this has been Maverick with Screw the Script. Thanks for watching.